My father handed my brother the acceptance letter from Stanford with tears in his eyes. "I'm so proud of you, son. We'll make this work, whatever it takes." My mother hugged him. They were crying. Happy tears, relief, pride. I was standing in the kitchen doorway, 17 years old, watching them celebrate my brother's future. Nobody was looking at me. The next day, my father sat me down at the same kitchen table. "Your mother and I have been discussing your college plans. With Daniel at Stanford, finances are going to be tight. We think the best option for you is community college. You can live at home, save money, and figure out what you want to do." "What about my acceptance to state?" I asked. I'd gotten in too. Not Stanford, but a good school. Engineering program. "That's going to cost too much," he said. "Between tuition, room, and board, we're looking at $25,000 a year. We just can't swing both." "But you're paying for Stanford," I said. My voice was quiet, steady. "That's $50,000 a year." "Daniel earned Stanford," my father said. "That's an investment in his future. You'll get life experience. That's just as valuable." Life experience. That's what they called it when they spent $100,000 on my brother's education and $0 on mine. Life experience. I was 25 now, sitting in my corner office on the 32nd floor, looking at the email from HR. "Daniel Morgan has accepted the position of junior developer. He'll report to you on Monday." My brother, the Stanford graduate, was coming to work for me, at the company I'd built from nothing while he was getting his prestigious degree. Let me back up. Because this wasn't about college or money. This was about 7 years of being told my path was less valuable, my future less worthy of investment, my potential not worth betting on. And if you've ever been the sibling who had to figure it out alone while watching your family pour everything into the golden child, you already know this story isn't really about a job. It's about the moment they realized their investment strategy was backwards. Daniel was 2 years older and brilliant. Perfect grades, perfect test scores, perfect everything. When he got into Stanford for computer science, my parents mortgaged the house, took out loans, did whatever it took. Because Stanford. Because Daniel. Because this was their chance to have a son at an Ivy-adjacent school. I understood. Resources were limited. Someone had to sacrifice. I just didn't understand why it was always me. I went to community college, lived at home, worked 30 hours a week at Best Buy to pay for my classes, studied computer science too because I loved it, because I was good at it. Not Stanford level apparently, but good enough. My parents were relieved I'd chosen something practical. "At least you're being realistic," my mother said. Code for, "At least you're not asking us for anything." While Daniel was at Stanford making connections and joining clubs, I was learning to code in a classroom with fluorescent lights that buzzed too loud and professors who had other jobs. While he was doing internships at Google and Facebook, I was fixing computers at Best Buy and learning from YouTube tutorials at midnight. While my parents visited him on campus, sent care packages, and posted about his achievements, I was invisible. Just the daughter who was getting life experience. I graduated from community college at 20 with an associate's degree, transferred to state for my bachelor's, paid for it myself with loans, my Best Buy salary, and freelance coding work I picked up online. Lived in an apartment with 3 roommates, ate a ramen. Never asked my parents for $1. They'd made it clear where their investment priorities were. Daniel graduated from Stanford at 22 with a degree, debt-free, and a job offer at a tech startup. $75,000 a year. My parents threw him a graduation party, invited everyone, bragged about their Stanford graduate. I graduated from state at 23. My parents sent a card. I had $50,000 in student debt and a job offer at a mid-sized tech company for $55,000 a year. I took it, worked 60-hour weeks, learned everything I could. And at night, I worked on a side project, an app I'd been building, a project management tool specifically designed for remote teams. Better than what was out there, simpler, more intuitive. I launched it at 24, priced it at $10 a month, got my first 100 users from posting in tech forums and reaching out to small businesses, made $1,000 the first month. My parents didn't know. I didn't tell them. They were busy talking about Daniel's promotion to senior developer, about his new apartment, about how their investment in Stanford was paying off. I kept my head down and worked, improved the app, added features, listened to users. By month 6, I had 1,000 users, $10,000 a month. I quit my job, went all in. Daniel called me when he heard. Mom said you quit your job to work on some app? That's risky. What if it doesn't work out? Then I'll figure it out, I said. Life experience, right? He didn't catch the edge in my voice. Just seems unstable. You should have stayed at your company. Built your resume. Like you did at Stanford? I asked. Yeah, exactly, he said, missing the irony completely. My app grew. I hired my first employee at 25, then 5 more, then 20. We raised venture capital, Series A funding, $3 million. My app was generating revenue, real revenue, $50,000 a month, then 100, then 250. I moved into an office, a real office with a view, hired more people, built a team. And I still didn't tell my parents much. They asked occasionally, "How's your little app going?" "Good," I said, still working on it. When I was 26, we hit a milestone, $1 million in annual recurring revenue. I was profitably running a tech company with 30 employees. And my parents still thought I was tinkering with a side project. They still introduced me at parties as our daughter who does tech stuff. Daniel was our Stanford graduate who works in software development. The difference was stark, and I stopped caring. I was too busy building to worry about their recognition. Then came the day that changed everything. I was in my office reviewing resumes for open positions. We were hiring, growing fast, needed more developers. My head of HR knocked on my door. "We got an interesting application," she said. "Your brother." I looked up. "What?" "Daniel Morgan. Applied for the junior developer position. I didn't realize you had a brother in tech." I took the resume. Stanford degree. 2 years at a startup that had since folded. 6 months at another company. Then a gap. 3 months. "Why the gap?" I asked. "He got laid off," she said. "His company downsized. It's in his cover letter." I read the cover letter. Professional, polite. No mention that the hiring manager was his sister. "He's qualified," she said. "Want me to bring him in for an interview?" I thought about it. The professional answer was yes. He was qualified. The personal answer was complicated. This was my company, my achievement. Built from the life experience my parents had given me instead of money. And now Daniel wanted to work here. "Interview him," I said. "Standard process. Don't mention I'm his sister yet. I want to see if he gets through on merit." Daniel interviewed well. My team liked him. He was smart, competent, knew his stuff. They wanted to hire him. HR came back to me. "We'd like to extend an offer. Junior developer, $70,000. He'd report to the development director." "Who reports to me?" I said. "Yes," she said. "Is that a problem?" "No," I said. "Offer him the position." But I want to be in the room when he accepts. The day Daniel came in to sign his offer letter, I waited in the conference room. He walked in with HR, smiling, excited. Then he saw me sitting at the head of the table and his smile faltered. "Jordan, what are you doing here?" "I'm the CEO," I said. "I like to meet all new hires personally." The color drained from his face. "You're the CEO? Of this company?" "TechFlow, yes. I founded it 3 years ago. We're at 50 employees now. 12 million in revenue. You applied for junior developer." He sat down slowly. "I didn't know. I thought you were still working on that app." "I am," I said. "This is that app. It's a company now. A successful one." He looked at the offer letter in front of him. "You're my boss?" "Technically, you'd report to Marcus, but Marcus reports to me. So yes, I'm your boss." The silence was heavy. "Why didn't you tell me?" he asked. "Why didn't you ask?" I said. "For 3 years I've been building this. You never once asked how it was going." "Not really. You assumed it was a hobby. Something I was playing around with. You told me I should have stayed at my stable corporate job." "I didn't realize," he said weakly. "No one realized," I said. "Mom and Dad still think I'm tinkering. They don't know I raised venture capital. They don't know I have 50 employees. They don't know my company is valued at $40 million. Because none of you asked. You just assumed the Stanford kid was the successful one." Daniel stared at the offer letter. "Do you want me to take this job?" "That's up to you," I said. "The offer is real. The position is real. You're qualified. But you need to understand something. If you work here, I'm your CEO. Not your sister. I expect professionalism, excellence, no special treatment." "Can you handle that?" "You're really going to make me work for you?" he asked. "I'm not making you do anything," I said. "You applied here. You interviewed here. You got offered a job based on your merit. The fact that I'm CEO is just a coincidence, or karma, depending on how you look at it." He picked up the pen. "Put it down." "What about Mom and Dad?" "What about them?" I asked. "They're going to have questions about how I ended up working for you." "Then tell them the truth," I said. "That I built a successful company while they were busy investing in your Stanford degree. That their life experience strategy worked out better than they planned. Just not the way they thought." Daniel signed the offer letter. Started the following Monday. It was surreal. Walking through my office, past my employees, seeing Daniel at a desk in the development pod. He was good at his job, professional, kept his head down. But I could see the adjustment. The cognitive dissonance. His little sister was his boss, the sister who went to community college while he went to Stanford. The sister who got life experience while he got $100,000 invested in his education. 3 weeks after Daniel started, my parents called. "Daniel says he's working at your company?" my mother said. No greeting, just accusation. "Yes," I said. "He applied. We hired him." "You hired your brother?" "We hired a qualified developer," I said. "Who happens to be my brother?" "Why didn't you tell us about this company?" my father asked. "I've been telling you," I said. "For 3 years. You called it my little app. You asked how it was going and changed the subject. You weren't interested unless it involved Daniel." "That's not fair," my mother said. "Isn't it?" I asked. "When's the last time you asked about my work with genuine interest? When's the last time you came to visit my office or asked about my team? You can tell me everything about Daniel's Stanford experience, but nothing about my company." "We didn't know it was this successful," my father said. "Because you didn't invest in finding out," I said. "You invested $100,000 in Daniel's education. That was your choice. But you also invested zero attention in what I was building. That was also your choice. Now Daniel works for me. That's just how it worked out. The call ended badly. My mother was crying. My father was defensive. Daniel was caught in the middle. A week later, they showed up at my office, unannounced. My assistant buzzed me. "Your parents are here." I almost said I was busy, but curiosity won. "Send them in." They walked into my corner office and stopped. Just stopped and stared. At the view, the desk, the awards on the wall, the Stanford Business Review article framed on my credenza. "This is impressive," my father said. His voice was quiet. "Thank you," I said. "This is where I work. This is what I built with my life experience." My mother sat down without being asked. "We're sorry. We didn't realize. If we'd known you were building something this substantial." "You would have what?" I interrupted. "Paid for my education? Been more supportive? Asked more questions? It shouldn't take a corner office for you to believe in me." "We did believe in you," my father said. "We just had limited resources. We had to make hard choices." "You chose Daniel," I said. "I understand why. Stanford, computer science." It made sense. "But you didn't just give him money. You gave him your attention, your pride, your belief." "I got none of that. I got told I'd get life experience while you invested in his future." "And look what you did with that life experience," my mother said. "You succeeded anyway. You proved you didn't need our money." "That's not the point," I said. "I didn't need to prove anything. I needed my parents to believe in me, to invest in me, not financially, emotionally. You made me feel like I was worth less than Daniel, like my path was less legitimate. That's what hurt, not the money." My father's eyes filled with tears. "We were wrong. We see that now. Seeing Daniel work here, for you, it's clear. We bet on the wrong child." "You didn't bet on the wrong child," I said. "Daniel's great. He's talented. Stanford was good for him. But you dismissed me. You made me feel invisible. And I had to build all of this while carrying that. While knowing my own parents didn't think I was worth investing in." "How do we fix this?" my mother asked. "I don't know if you can," I said honestly. "You can be proud of me now. You can tell people about my company. You can believe in what I've built. But you can't go back and give me the support I needed at 18. That's just gone." They left after an hour, subdued, humbled. I sat in my office for a long time after, looking at the city below. Daniel knocked on my door. "Can I come in?" "Sure," I said. He sat across from my desk. "I heard Mom and Dad came by." "They did," I said. "It was intense." "I'm sorry," he said. "For what?" "For not seeing it," he said. "For taking all that money and attention and not realizing you got none. For not asking about your work. For assuming I was the successful one because I went to Stanford." "You are the successful one," I said. "You are successful. Stanford, good jobs, you've done well." "But you've done better," he said. "And you did it without any of the advantages I had. That's more impressive." "This isn't a competition," I said. "It feels like one sometimes," he said. "Working for you, my little sister, the CEO. I won't lie, it's been an adjustment." "Are you okay with it?" I asked. "With working here?" "Honestly," he said, "I'm proud of you. I should have said that when I started. I'm proud you built this, and I'm grateful you hired me even though I've been kind of a dick about your career." "You weren't a dick," I said. "You were dismissive. There's a difference." "Fair," he said. "Can I ask you something?" "Sure." "Would you have hired me if I wasn't qualified?" he asked. I thought about it. No, I can't risk my company for family, but you are qualified. That's why you're here. Not because you're my brother, because you're good at what you do. That means something, he said. Thanks for that. He stood to leave, stopped at the door. For what it's worth, Stanford cost $100,000. But what you learned was worth more. You learned to build something from nothing, to rely on yourself, to succeed without a safety net. That's worth more than any degree. Tell that to Mom and Dad, I said. I will, he said. And he did. At the next family dinner, Daniel told them everything. How his Stanford education had prepared him for a job, but my community college and life experience had prepared me to create jobs. How I'd built something he could only work for. How their investment strategy had worked. Just not the way they'd planned. My parents are trying now. They come to my office sometimes. Ask about the business. Tell their friends about their daughter, the CEO. My mother even said once, I wish we'd seen this in you earlier. We could have helped. You did help, I said. You gave me life experience. You taught me to build something without permission, without resources. That was actually the best gift you could have given me. I just wish you'd known it at the time. 6 months after Daniel started, we raised our Series B, $20 million. I made Daniel a senior developer, not because he's my brother, because he earned it. He's good, and he's grateful, and that matters. My parents framed the TechCrunch article about our funding, put it in their living room, next to Daniel's Stanford diploma. The symbolism isn't lost on anyone. Are we healed? No. Families don't heal that easily, but we're honest now. I don't hide my success. They don't assume Daniel is the only one who matters. Daniel doesn't assume his degree makes him more successful. We're all just figuring out this new dynamic, where the kid who got life experience ended up employing the kid who got Stanford. The office where Daniel sits is 3 floors below mine. He's on the development floor with the rest of the team. Sometimes I walk by and see him working, and I feel something complicated. Not superiority, not vindication exactly. Just acknowledgement that their choice to invest in him, but not in me, backfired in the most poetic way possible. He works for me not because I'm smarter or better, but because I learned to build while he learned to execute. Both are valuable, but only one creates companies. If you've ever been the sibling who got nothing while watching your parents pour everything into the golden child, this story is for you. If you've ever been told you'll get life experience while they get resources, if you've ever had to build success from scraps while they built it from support, this is for you. You don't need their investment to succeed. Sometimes their neglect becomes your advantage. Sometimes life experience is worth more than $100,000. Sometimes the kid they didn't bet on becomes the one running the company. Tell me in the comments, did you ever have to build something from nothing while a sibling got everything? Did you succeed anyway? I read every story. And if you want more stories about people who turned being overlooked into being unstoppable, subscribe. There's always another underestimated sibling building an empire from life experience.